He blamed me for our loss and called it on purpose. Was I cruel to kick him out and cut contact? Hey Reddit, I'm a 28F and I was with my boyfriend, well, ex, Liam, 30M, for 6 years. We met in our early 20s, the kind of slow-burn friendship that slid into love, rent, and shared grocery lists. We weren't actively trying for a baby, but we weren't preventing it either. When I found out I was pregnant, it felt surreal, like standing at the top of a roller coaster and realizing there's no handrail to hold. We told almost no one. I wanted time to process. He seemed stunned but happy on good days. Then I miscarried at 5 weeks. If you've ever lived through that, you know the silence afterward is heavy. It's in the bathroom tiles, in the cabinet where you still have prenatal vitamins you forgot to hide, in the bed you suddenly hate. I was grieving, confused, and my body ached like I'd been sprinting in circles. Liam started snapping over small things, late dishes, my quietness, me not doing enough to distract myself. I kept telling myself it was grief coming out sideways for both of us. A couple weeks after the miscarriage, I asked if we could talk. I wanted to name the elephant, his anger. We sat on the couch, me twisting the couch string into a knot, him scrolling on his phone, pretending not to brace. I said, as calmly as I could, "Your anger is scaring me. I'm not okay. I feel depressed. I need us to be gentle." He put the phone down like it was a weapon he'd decided to keep near. "So it's my fault you're depressed?" "No," I said. "I'm saying your anger makes it harder. I need support." He scoffed. "You're acting like I'm the reason you lost the baby." I felt my throat tighten. "I never said that. That's not." He cut me off. His voice sharpened, a clean edge. "You did it on purpose." It was like the room tilted. I swear I could hear the hum of the fridge, the tick of the cheap wall clock, and nothing else. For a second, I didn't understand the words, like my brain refused to download. Then my stomach dropped hard enough to make me dizzy. "What?" I whispered. You didn't want it. You're relieved. Don't pretend you're so sad. You made it happen." I stood up. My knees actually wobbled. "Get out," I said, too quietly at first. Then louder, "Get the F out. Now." He stared at me like I'd slapped him. "Are you serious?" "I'm done, Liam." My voice was shaking, but not from doubt. "I can't hear this. I won't live with someone who says that to me." He stormed out, slamming the door, and the silence after was so loud, it rang. 2 hours later, there was another knock. He walked back in with that half-contrite, half-entitled look I recognized from every argument we'd ever had. "I don't have anywhere to go," he said. I knew that was a lie. His mom lived 20 minutes away. His brother had a guest room. But what I heard under it was, "I don't want to explain to them why you kicked me out." He tried to grab his jacket like we were rewinding time and could somehow drop back into the before. "Just help me, okay?" I said something I didn't mean. "You don't have to be dramatic." "You blamed me for a miscarriage," I said, finally steady. "You accused me of doing it on purpose." "That's not a slip-up, Liam. That's cruelty." He rolled his eyes. "You're treating me like trash." "I'm protecting myself," I said. "And I'm finished." I refused to help him find a place. I told him to pack what he needed and go. He kept huffing about how I was abandoning him in his worst moment. I let him talk. I didn't engage. I blocked his number and WhatsApp once he left because I knew the cycle. Rage, guilt, apology, charm, repeat. I wasn't going to do another lap. The next few days were a blur of practical grief. I washed his coffee mug and put it away high on a shelf. I found a pair of his socks under the couch and threw them into a bag. I cried brushing my teeth. I cried making toast. I slept with the light on. I told myself that heartbreak and relief were twin flames. They burned, but they kept you warm. Did I treat him like trash? That phrase echoed, because he'd used it, and then I used it against myself. I tried to look with an outsider's eyes. I'd asked him to leave after he accused me of essentially murdering a pregnancy I wanted. He had places to go. He is not a stray at my doorstep. I didn't scream insults. I didn't throw things. I enforced a boundary because I felt unsafe, emotionally, and honestly, spiritually. Sometimes boundaries look like cruelty to people who benefited from your lack of them. About a month later, though, I opened my laptop and somehow, despite my blocks on other devices, messages came through. There they were, a string of texts. Begging. Apologizing. I was angry. I didn't mean it. "You treated me like trash when you kicked me out. You didn't even help. I'm sorry. Please." It read like a carousel where every horse is labeled sorry, but also you're mean. I reread the line about me treating him like trash, and my chest filled with that old familiar doubt. Had I been too harsh? Was I punishing him for a moment of grief? But then I pictured that moment on the couch. His face when he said, "You did it on purpose." The certainty. The accusation. If there's a line for me, that was it, drawn with a permanent marker. When I finally told my sister, she came over with soup, sat on my floor, and said, "If I ever hear his name again, it will be too soon." My best friend sent me a ridiculous care package, face masks, a tiny cactus because it thrives despite neglect, and gummy bears. My mom, who so rarely chooses sides, chose mine. She said, carefully but firmly, "Some wounds are accidental. Some are inflicted. Don't confuse them." Mutual friends were split. A couple of people said, "He's grieving too," and I get that. Others said, "He went nuclear." That's not grief. That's cruelty. At work, I was quiet. I did the emails and the small talk and then cried in the car on lunch breaks. I joined an online support group for people who'd lost pregnancies, and reading stories there felt like pressing my palm to a window and feeling warmth from the other side. One woman wrote, "Pain isn't an excuse to aim for someone's jugular." I wanted to embroider that on a pillow. Then there were the apologies from Liam, batches of them, flowing in on that laptop thread I forgot to close. It was like he was throwing handfuls of glitter at a house fire. It looked like something, but it didn't put out the flames. I don't think I'm a cruel person. I don't think I'm heartless. I think I reached my limit after months of walking on eggshells, and then being told that the deepest, most private pain of my life was my own malicious design. I told him to leave. I blocked him. I didn't help him find a couch to crash on, because he had options and I needed space. I chose me. Did I do the right thing? Am I the jerk for kicking him out and not helping him after what he said? Or did I finally act like someone who believes she deserves kindness? Ida? Update, 1 month later. I wanted to share an update because a lot has shifted and something stayed exactly the same. First, I did not take him back. After I posted, I reread his messages with fresh eyes and realized they were all about his discomfort, not my pain. I replied once, short, clear, and final, telling him I needed no further contact and asking him not to message me again. He sent one more apology that slid, mid-paragraph, into, "But you didn't even try to understand me," and that sealed it. I started therapy. In our second session, I told my therapist what he'd said on the couch, those exact words. She didn't flinch. She said, "Grief can make people sloppy with their empathy, but it doesn't invent new values." He chose those words. That landed. I also attended 2 support group meetings. Hearing a stranger say, "I forgave myself for surviving it," cracked something open in me. I wrote a letter to the baby I didn't get to meet and tucked it under my pillow for a week. There were practical changes too. I returned his leftover boxes with a friend present. In daylight, no contact. I swapped the sheets. I took down a photo of us at a beach where we were both squinting into the sun and replaced it with a print I love. A big, messy, hopeful sunrise. I'm eating better. I'm sleeping more. I can walk past the prenatal vitamins now without feeling punched. Mutual friends have mostly stopped pushing reconciliation. One even confessed he'd heard Liam minimize my grief before and was too chicken to call it out. That stung, but it also reminded me I wasn't imagining things. The narrative wasn't one bad night. It was a pattern I finally interrupted. Do I forgive him? I forgive the part of him that was terrified and grieving. I don't forgive the part that weaponized my body against me. And forgiveness doesn't mean reentry. It means I don't carry his words around like they're mine to own. So that's where I am, healing slowly, building a quieter house inside myself, and keeping the door locked to storms I don't have to weather. If you've been here, I'm sorry. If you're here now, please know your pain is real and not your fault. And if you were me, would you leave that door locked for good? Or is there a world where "I'm sorry" becomes enough? What should I do?